Hello everybody, this is Sniping is Fun speaking, and here is yet another Smash Brothers topic that I'm going to be bringing to all of you. Today's topic is why, in my personal opinion, I think Issa Joe makes more sense as the Sin and Punishment rep. Um, Sin and Punishment is a series that has been around despite few games. It only has two so far. It's been around since 2000. It was a the original game was a late N64 game that was not localized. And it was not localized until about 8 years later, until the until the Wii Virtual Console, in which it was released as a Japanese import. And the main character of that game, Saki Amamiya, hoping I pronounced that last name right, was the main character of that game, and there was also Aaron Joe as the other main character of that game. Saki was included eventually around the time that Assist Trophy came out. I mean, around the time that around the time Smash Bros. Brawl came out as an assist trophy. Around the time, the game was actually finally localized out on the Wii Virtual Console. And he was also now an assist trophy also again, and in Smash Bros. 4. But there's this idea going around, and I'm sorry to say I really don't believe it. I'm sorry I don't believe it. I'm sorry I don't agree with it. I don't accept it. I'm not with that idea at all. That just because Saki is the original character, that he is the destined choice. Whenever Sin and Punishment ever gets a representation in Smash Brothers, he has to be the playable character. And I'm just asking why. Just because he's the original character? That doesn't always happen. That's not a requirement. That is not really, a destined choice, a destined reason for why characters are included. Especially when you have to consider that Saki's game is now about 14 years old. And he hasn't had a game since. And I'm not denying Saki. He does look like a cool character. I've yet to play the original Sin and Punishment. I do want to play it, though. I'm not saying I have played the second one. I haven't played the original yet. And it's not my reason for why I'm saying this. Entirely. But like I said, it's not it's a partial reason, but it's definitely not the major reason. It's like an eensy little reason. My major reason here is this: Sin and Punishment has two games now, and the second one, Sin and Punishment Star Successor, or I forgot what the Japanese name was. It was released in 2009 in Japan and 2010 in the U.S. and I think Europe. Okay, and it was actually like I said, since I said it was released in U.S. and Europe, it was localized. Here's my thing. I'm going to go down and talk about it. People say that Saki should be in because he's the original lead. Sure, cool, whatever, awesome, great. I'm not denying that. Like he'd make a cool character. My main reason for why I don't think he should be the character is because he was never localized, and his game is so old now. And I'm not denying the character, I'm denying the stuff around him for why I don't think he should be the character. Now, if he was included, let's say, in a Sin and Punishment 3, or he was brought back in the series somehow, even though he's dead, sure, bring him back. Awesome. Great. That'd be cool. I won't deny that. If that happens, I'd say he at least makes more sense to me. Till then, no. And just because he's the original lead, just because he's the original character, I don't think that gives him any right. And I have an example. It's actually quite, everyone's going to know this. It's already happened in Smash Brothers for why Saki does not have super preference over Issa. And his name is Ness. Ness is from Mother 2, from Earthbound. A localized game. The only localized Mother game. You want to know who the original lead was? And I'm sure most of you guys know. His name is Nintendo. It wasn't NES. It was Nintendo. His game was not localized. It was on the NES. Who got into Smash Brothers? Oh yeah, that was NES. Was he localized? Yes. Was he the most recent? Yes. So that's partially my reason. Like, it can happen. I'm not saying what happened to Nintendo is going to happen to Saki and what happened to NES is going to necessarily happen to Issa Joe. I'm just saying I follow that logic. In my opinion, Saki is to Nintendo what Issa Joe is to NES. And I think Issa Joe makes more sense because he was localized, because he's more relevant and recent. Now, if Issa Joe's not in Sin and Punishment 3 or anything, then that might hurt his chances. But here's the thing, though. Right now, both Issa Joe and Saki have numero uno games. They both have one. So, in terms of games, they really don't have preference over each other. And people go and immediately jump on Saki's the original character lead, like I said before. And like I said, I think that's a bunch of BS. I really do. Oh, he's the original lead. He has to be the choice. No, he doesn't. Sorry. No. Not really. He could be. Doesn't have to be. So, when it comes to that, like I said, Issa Joe, in my opinion, like I said, they both have one game each. So why would I pick Issa Joe? Like I said before, it's because he was localized. It's because he's more relevant now, because he's recent. His game was within the last 5 years. Because he fits into the same era as every other newcomer we're basically seeing. And if Sin and Punishment doesn't get a representation in Smash Bros. 4, and instead we probably get one in Smash Bros. 5, he's still the most recent guy. And unless there's a Sin and Punishment 3 and there's a new lead, I would say his chances are the best now. Now, if there's a new lead, then I possibly could see Sin and Punishment 3's lead in there. If Saki comes back, I could see him in there. If Issa Joe comes back, like I said, he makes more sense. Now, like I said, right now they're both one. And if Sin and Punishment 3 is about either of them getting a second game, then that doesn't automatically make them more relevant than the other. If Saki does get in Sin and Punishment 3, and Issa Joe doesn't, it makes him more relevant for Smash Brothers. And vice versa. If Issa Joe made it in Sin and Punishment 3, it makes him more relevant for Smash Brothers. Now, if they're both in for some reason, somehow, time travel, resurrecting from the dead, I don't know, that makes them still equal because they both have 2 games. At that point, it would be a stalemate, and it can go either way. But here's the thing I could think of. Like I said, Issa Joe is the current, most recent lead in the game, besides Kachi. And it could be her too, but I think they would probably go for Issa Joe. I'm not sure. But I'm going to talk about Issa Joe here. He's the most current recent lead that's localized, and has the potential ability of being in the next game if it's a direct sequel, if it goes on, unless they go into the future and make it about a new character. Unless Saki can somehow resurrect himself from the dead, or if it's a prequel or something that's before he dies, I don't see Saki in another game. And if anything, we're always probably going to get a Sin and Punishment game that probably has one single lead and it's going to be basically like the Mother games. It was Nintendo, and it was NES, and then it was Lucas. They all only were one game. And Lucas also got in. So, maybe we'll never see Issa Joe or Kachi again in the series. Maybe not. And then we'll see the Sin and Punishment 3 lead instead. But, like I said, I basically support Issa Joe mainly because it makes a little more sense. Because he's more relevant and recent, and he was actually localized. So I think more people might know him, even if the original game might be a little more popular. But it was basically in Japan for so long, and we got 8 years too late. Not saying it was a bad game, because I haven't played it yet, and I want to play it. But I'm just saying that. And here's one other little reason. I think Issa Joe can do more than Saki. Issa Joe can do everything Saki can do, but Saki can't do everything Issa Joe can do. And here's the one major reason. Jetpack. I don't know if Saki uses a jetpack in the original game, but I know Issa Joe uses it. And I think it will add to his moveset and make him more maneuverable. which is the same reason why Kachi would be a little more original too. She could fly. Saki can't fly. I think that maneuverability of either flying or having a jetpack actually adds to the character, makes them different and unique. On top of the gun sword, obviously. So, there's that. But, in the end, it doesn't really matter, I guess, who gets in. I'm just basically stating my reasons for why I choose, Isujo over Saki, or even Kachi over Saki. Like I said, I don't hate Saki. I just don't think he's the definitive choice to be, the Smash Brothers representation of, the single representation for Smash Brothers. And like I said in one of my previous topics, the alternate costumes versus alternate characters, they could always do that. Isujo could be playable, and then Saki could be an alternate, or Kachi could be an alternate, or Aaron could be an alternate, or Achi could be an alternate. Or maybe they'll just include Sin and Punishment 3's main character and then make one like Isujo or Saki or someone an alternate of them. Who knows? I certainly don't. I'm just speaking my opinion online, like all of us. So that's basically it. My name is Sniping is Fun. I hope you guys like this video. And put in the comment section what you guys think. Would you choose Saki, or would you choose Issa? Or would you choose Kachi, or would you choose Aaron? Or would you choose the Sin and Punishment 3 eventually down the line lead for Smash Bros. 5 or whatever? Or, like, what character would you choose and why? Or would you choose more than one character? Would you choose alternate characters, or what? Well, just in the comment section, put what you think, and we could discuss it there. I hope you guys like this video. Peace. Please subscribe if you want to. My name is Sniping is Fun. And I'll see you guys later in my next Smash Brothers topic related video. And Smash Brothers anything related to the videos. Have a nice day.